All right, so it is March 24th, and this is the Team Sweat Happy Call, and we are going to go over some takeaways from the Success Club cruise trip that Becca and I just got back from. So we have a little PowerPoint presentation that we're going to run through, and then just share with you what we learned and what we got inspired by, and then afterwards, whatever questions you guys have will be great. Okay, Amy, yeah, just log back in. Okay, so I'm going to start my screen share. Okay, Becca, are you going to talk first?
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Oh, there it is. Now I can see it.
Okay, let me get it playing.
Let's show everybody.
Oh, hi.
See the bunny face.
Okay.
The bunny face.
Hi, Haley.
Hi, Amy.
Is that your face to bunny face?
That's fantastic. Okay, I am going to mute everyone, and then what's up, Becca?
Okay.
Yep, all right, go ahead.
Okay. So, yeah, like Jen was saying, we just wanted to take this time to share with you a little bit about what we learned on the Success Club trip. These are just some pictures. This boat was absolutely ginormous. It was my first time being on a cruise ever, and I'd heard from people that this boat was just huge. And when you saw it, like we saw it next to like 4 other boats at one point, and it really just was huge. It was a really neat thing to be able to kind of take over an entire ship. It was all Beachbody coaches and their guests and family, and then of course some servers and stuff too. But there were no other like guests besides people who were on this trip. So it was very cool to kind of just take that over. Okay, so the next slide. Oh, I can't. There we go. Okay. So first and foremost, we talk about Success Club trips. We talk about Success Club. It's a really easy way to just, it rolls off your tongue. Have you reached Success Club? How many SP points have you had? Blah, blah, blah. We talk about that all the time, but we can never, ever, ever forget what that means when we talk about Success Club. And Success Club means that you have helped at least 3 people every single month change their life in some way. Whether it's starting a brand new fitness program, trying Shakeology for the first time, enrolling coaches who are, just exploring this opportunity and learning about it for the first time, or whether they've been challengers before. I mean, all of these things that accumulate Success Club points are people, and we are impacting people's lives. And so, as easy as it is for us to say, I'm at SC2 or I'm at SC5, always remember that what's behind that is a person's life that you're impacting and changing. And so it's very, very cool to, be able to celebrate and be rewarded for helping people and for impacting people. And so it's just really important to always remember that. So right here we call it the 3 Lives Club. Okay, next. Okay, so these are my 7 what I call lessons in leadership. This is kind of when I was thinking back on the trip, these were the things that stood out to me. I'm just going to quickly go through all of them. This is going to be a really short presentation. But number 1, attending events. Number 2 is getting outside your comfort zone. Number 3 is work really hard and for the right reasons. Number 4 is to celebrate your successes. Number 5 is to never stop learning. Number 6 is to continue to find inspiration. And number 7 is to take action. And so now I'm just going to quickly go through each of these and kind of what stood out about each of these lessons to me. So the number 1 thing is to attend events like this. Obviously the Success Club trip is an awesome event to attend. But also, Summit this summer in July, that is key. If you aren't on the wait list for Summit, get on that really quick. Go to the FAQ Search Summit and get on that wait list. Super Saturday. So the next Super Saturday is April 2nd. And there will be one, hopefully within at least an hour of driving distance to every single, person here. So if you click on that Find an SC event here, that little bubble, we'll share this presentation. That'll take you to the FAQ or the TBB 411 about the Super Saturday, so you can find an event near you. It's just such a great opportunity, all of these things, to just connect with other coaches and honestly to see how real everyone is. That was something that really stood out to me on the cruise and definitely all the other events that I've been to. It's just, we are literally just ordinary people trying to, make a difference, a positive difference in the world. And so it's just really cool to see people coming from all walks of life and every step of the fitness journey, different backgrounds, different jobs, different families, all that stuff. We're just real people with something in common, and that's something is to help inspire other people. So getting outside your comfort zone. Okay. And this is funny that Andrew's in the car with me right now, so he can attest to this. But when we pulled up to the boat, I got really, really nervous. It was so big. I am really a shy person with people I don't know yet. And I was just like, oh boy, what am I doing here? I'm much more comfortable in my sweatpants, at home than I am on a cruise with 6,000 people. So I was really, really nervous. And like I said, okay, I'm a huge, huge homebody. But I obviously was not going to turn around and go home, obviously. And so I relied on my support system for, at that point was Andrew right next to me to say, hey, all right, come on, we're here, we can do this. And then the support system of just, Jen was there, and just having coaches that, I knew and, trusted and friends with and stuff like that. But the takeaway here is get outside of your comfort zone, because that's where all the amazing things happen, right? If you don't get out of your comfort zone, you won't grow. And that's where the growth happens and the change happens. And so, as scary as it is, I'm super excited that I did that. So, all right, next. Okay, so work really, really hard and for the right reasons. So we were on that successful trip because for everybody, earns their way there. It's not, it's not something that you can just say, hey, I want to go, and now I'm going, right? You have to put in the work every single month to be able to earn that trip. And while I wholeheartedly know that everyone on this team can do that, it is work, right? You can't just wake up and say, I'm going to do it, and then not do anything about it to actually get there. So working for the right reason. Be authentic. Every single conversation I have, I share those conversations with you guys, but it's not just words on paper, right? I mean, it's authentic conversation.
Oh, is everyone else still there? Can you guys hear me or Becca? Okay, she might be going through a dead zone on 43 right now. Let me text her real quick. Oh, yeah, we lost her. Okay. So I'll just kind of take over a little bit. I mean, these were her slides, but I'll kind of go off. I think, what she was going on with working really hard. I mean, it's, being able to help people and be rewarded for that is really fantastic. But we still have to remember that this is still a job, and we wouldn't want this to be one of those get rich quick kind of things, because those typically aren't quite as meaningful. So it's still something that you have to wake up every day and talk to people. And, you're not talking to people, with the end goal of just trying to sell them something. You talk to people, you learn about them, and then you make new friends, and things will come into place. You'll figure out a problem that they have. You'll find a tool that'll help them, and you'll help them get started on their fitness journey. And then Beachbody as a company, they reward people that work really hard for that. And then celebrate success. You're going to kind of hear some of these themes when I go through my part at the end. But celebrating success is huge. It's one thing to just get up every day and do your job and do the same thing and talk to people. But it's a whole other thing to actually have like positive reinforcement. So, every single person that you help is a success. And so we want to share that and love that. And, oh, Becca, I have really poor service. Can you hear us, Becca?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, hey, I think I can hear you now. Maybe. If you guys have ever driven from South Haven to Kalamazoo, you know exactly what part of the road she's on right now. Like, it will drop service all the time right there. Okay, I'm just gonna. Maybe. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over to the slides that I have at the end. And then hopefully by then, Becca will be back closer to town, so she'll have better service, and then she can finish out her slides. So, okay, so I took the same picture. So I only have this one slide, but I have 5 different topics. And if you guys have been following my page, or if you're following my posts, I've been trying to post about these every single day. So you can, take a look there and see kind of the things that I've typed and shared. So my 5 things are hashtag girl bosses, diversity, finding your tribe, positive rewards, and opportunity. So one of the things that I really took away from this trip is, a lot of us, do have other jobs, and maybe you've gotten to go on a business trip, or, maybe you've gone to something that your significant other does. And a lot of times when you mentally think like business trip, you picture like all the men in their suits and like their wives are hanging out and coming with them. And that's like just not even the case with Beachbody. Like, it was so cool. This one night we were all getting drinks before we went out for a team dinner. And, when you look around the room, every single person was there because of the business that the woman had run. The guys are there supporting us, and they love us, and they, smile for our pictures after they roll their eyes, but they're supporting, and this is our business. And most Beachbody coaches are women. And so it's really such a great and empowering thing to be on these trips, because you really get to experience that and see that. I mean, the top 10 coaches this year were all women, and they're all running their businesses just in incredible ways. So that was super cool. My next takeaway was diversity. And I think Becca touched a little bit about this on just, when you get to go to these events, you get to see how like real people are, but you get to see how diverse people are too. I mean, there's definitely, your fitness instructors and, people along those lines at these events. But any single person can do this job. And when you go on the cruise, I mean, you meet people from all over the country. You meet people from all different backgrounds. There's people with kids. There's people without kids. There's coaches that are like, in their 60s, still rocking their bathing suits and hanging out with us. So it's really for anybody. And it doesn't matter the background either. I mean, the cool thing is, throughout some of the different trainings that I've gotten to do, I've met a lot of people through Beachbody that I've not met in person until this cruise. And so, there's people, from this one girl's a dance instructor from New York that I got to meet. And another girl is, she's worked her way out of, like basically this massive amount of, credit card debt, and she's still here in the same place that I am. So, it's so cool. You got to get to these events and see everybody else, and you just realize, that you can do this. You don't have to be anything. I mean, we're all super special, right? But you don't have to be any like crazy fitness, whatever person. The next one for me was about finding your tribe. And if you guys are on Facebook and you can follow me, I would just love for you to read my post from yesterday, because I really spoke from the heart, and it is also similar to Becca's. I mean, I wasn't like super freaked out about how big the boat was, but I am not really comfortable around a lot of women. I would rather hang out with guys. If we're at a party with a bunch of couples, I'm normally like watching TV and sports and drinking beer with the guys versus hanging out with the girls. And it's just, I just feel more comfortable that way. I have more things in common. And so before this job, the idea of going on like girls trips or hanging out with a bunch of women was like freaking terrifying. I was like, oh, we're going to have to do all these stupid things that I don't like to do. And like, I just had this whole like thing in my brain. But it's not even like the case. Like when you go on these trips, you get to hang out with all these real women that also want to be in their sweatpants and probably don't want to be in the dress that they're in, that brought more workout clothes and regular clothes, that have the same struggles with eating and drinking, but I still have to get up in the morning. So when you go to these things, you really get to find those people that you fit in with. And it's just, it's super fun. And you're not going to get along with every single person on the boat. There were like 6,000 people there, right? But we're all in it for the same reason. So it's super cool to kind of, find your people. Positive rewards, I just kind of tried to talk about what Becca's celebrating success was. But I know for me, and probably for most of you, you've been in a job where you feel like nobody cares about the work that you do. I'm lucky to not be in that position right now, but I definitely, have been there before, and it's really not motivating, and it's hard to do a good job and be your best self when you're just not really sure if your work is valued. So going on these cruises is like the coolest thing ever. I mean, we help people get healthier. And as you go on this journey, you're going to get thank you notes and you're going to get people reaching out to you. And I mean, that's like enough, right? Like that's enough to get a thank you from somebody else. But then Beachbody Corporate is like, you help so many people, we're going to send you on a cruise. Or, for next year, we're going to get to go to Punta Cana, So they put a value in helping create a positive work environment by, giving these rewards. And it's not like, oh my gosh, I need a reward to do my job better. Like that's not really what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that it's really nice to be with a group of people that are willing to celebrate everything you've done instead of make it a competition. And it's really nice to be part of a corporate team that recognizes the value of helping people feel like, what their work, it matters. And so when you go on these cruises, you really see that. I mean, the whole like CEOs were there, like they were walking around and talking to people, and there was like this 3-on-3 basketball thing, I mean, they're people just like us. And so it's a cool thing. Okay. And then incredible opportunity. Okay. So this is what happened one day. We woke up super early on a cruise vacation because we're crazy people. And we got to work out with Tony Horton in person in the middle of the ocean while the sun was rising. Like, are you kidding? I mean, the stuff that we are getting to do, and I mean, like we were in Jamaica and, all these places that I never thought I would see. And, I've had to work to be able to do all these things, but in my current job, I can work as hard as I want, and they're not going to let me go to Jamaica or send me to Jamaica or find a way for me to be able to work out live with Tony Horton. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So, you know, this whole Beachbody thing, whatever you want to call it, just opens up these doors for things that you never ever thought that you would be able to do. I mean, it was like the coolest thing ever. And I've gotten to work out like live with Tony a couple times now. Like he was at Summit, and it was so fun. I think another time at the last Super Saturday in Grand Rapids, we got to work out with Jericho live, and like her and Joel live on the cruise. It was so fun, and you can feel all the energy. And you're like, didn't I just see you like on the DVD? So, I mean, it's just crazy, like what you can actually do with this job. And when it comes back to it, like Becca said at the very beginning, we're literally just helping people get healthy. And we're helping them do that by sharing how we did it and what's been working for us and other people. So it's just kind of like crazy to me. So that was like one of the biggest things I came home with. So those were my 5 things. And like I said, it's super short on this slide, but if you check out my Facebook page, you can read all my, you know, heartfelt word vomit that I have been posting this week. Okay, are you home, Becca?
Well, we are sitting, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we are sitting in a McDonald's parking lot because we have service right now. So Andrew has graciously pulled over so that I can finish this without losing service. There, you guys, we live in the boonies.
Okay.
I'm on 4G right now. Terrible. So anyway,
Oh boy.
yeah, so if you can go back.
Okay, so.
Okay, so this one. So we were on working really, really hard for the right reasons. Okay, so I talked about the be authentic and be you and be genuine and, you know, put people first and put their needs first. You know, I've said this before, you'll hear this a lot. You know, this Beachbody thing, it's not a get rich quick job. It takes time to build relationships. It takes time to find out what people need. And it takes time to get to know people. And that's where the magic is going to happen, because that's when you're really going to be able to help someone, and it's going to, you know, really impact their lives and make it a long-term solution for this person. And that's what matters. So certainly nothing is going to happen overnight, but with consistency and over time, you know, if you're leading with the right reason, you'll just soar, right? And so that's where you do this every day, and then you'll be able to celebrate successes because of all of the above. Because that's when it happens, when you spend that time getting to know people, building relationships, seeing what they need, helping them first. Then you're going to be able to go on amazing trips because you've helped them. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay. So never stop learning. So this popped out at me because I was like watching people the whole time, watching leaders around us, watching, you know, what were other people doing? What were they spending their time with? You know, they're on this cruise, but they're still, you know, building relationships with their teams and meeting other people and, you know, always just kind of engaged. And so it just reminded me to never stop learning. So be willing to listen and to observe. You know, they had top 10 panels. They had Q&A sessions. And even if you didn't go to the events live, they were rebroadcasting all of those events on these like Beachbody channels on the TV. So I would like watch those at night and in the morning and just, okay, well, what are the top 10? What are they saying? What are their secrets? What do they do every day? And so just soaking that all up. And then be willing to take what they say and, you know, try it, put it into action. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Number 6 was continuing to find inspiration. So there were a lot of things that out of this trip that I just like moved me, I guess. And a lot of it was just, you know, little things like and now they're all blanking, but I shared some of them with when I shared the post about what the top 10 were saying. I shared some pieces of inspiration that I felt, and you want to like capitalize on that, and so take action on that stuff, because if you go to these events, if you go to Super Saturday, April 2nd, you go to Summit, you're gonna have all these amazing experiences, but if you just let that like fall away and not use that inspiration to actually take action on it, then it's kind of, well, what's the point, right? I mean, yeah, you had a good time, but it's not going to propel into anything unless you do something about it. And so one of those things to take action was to have a phone call like this, right? And share with you guys what we learned, so that we can share that inspiration with you. And so that was, one of the things to take action. What Jen is doing is awesome, right? Every single day she's doing a different, something that she took away from the trip. And so that's her taking action and moving forward with that. Every picture I posted from the cruise, that got a whole bunch of likes, I'm taking action and reaching out to those people and, saying, hey, thanks for, taking that time to like the picture and starting a conversation with them. And so it's all about, using these events like this, and that momentum and using that to push your business forward. And there was one thing that I mentioned, so if you didn't go on the cruise, right? I don't want you to sit back and say, well, crap, I just lost that opportunity to like have momentum because I didn't go on it. Well, maybe you're looking at this and you're wanting to go next year, and you can use that as momentum. Like, hey, who wants to go on this trip with me next year? Like, I'm going to work my butt off, and I would love to have some friends join me type thing. Everything can be actionable if you choose to do that and put in that effort. So I think that was it. I think that was all I had, right?
Yep.
Nope. Yeah.
Nope.
That was it. So do you guys have any questions about anything, or?
I'm gonna unmute everybody.
Okay. And we're gonna drag in, but if I lose, just okay.
Yep.
But I think I should have service for a little bit longer.
All right.
What questions do people have?
Can you hear me?
Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering, how often do they have the Super Saturdays?
Good question. So there's one every quarter. So the last one was January, so April, and then I think one again in August, and then one again in November, October, or something. So once a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the summits, are those once a year?
Yep. So Summit is once a year. It's in July like 25th to the 29th. I think this year it's in Nashville again, which is where it was last year. It was awesome. And so the Super Saturdays are like usually like a 2 or 3 hour event. Or you can't see me anymore. They're pretty. Just like a morning, or sometimes they'll have them on Friday night, or sometimes they'll have them on Sundays too. But that's just a couple hours, and usually, there's some announcements that are made, and then you usually do a workout with a celebrity trainer. And so they're pretty short and fun. And then Summit is more of a Thursday, Friday, Saturday type event, and awesome! Can't even describe it. It's so awesome.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I could. What else?
Like in the front zipper part.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something good for you. I mean, it could turn into something good for you to manage your whole.
Does anyone else have any questions? Mm-hmm.
There's no other questions. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And if anything pops up, definitely just reach out and ask.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, thanks, guys. I'll post this recording soon. Bye.
Thank you, Jen.
Welcome.